And we are live. Welcome. I am Rebbetzin Bat-Chen Grossman, and I am a marriage coach for women in business. This is Chana, and she is an aromatherapist. She's going to introduce herself and tell you why she is so awesome. So go ahead, Chana.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Chana Frazin, and I am a certified aromatherapist. And what makes me awesome is that I use oils for everything. And they help me get control in crazy situations, like when your kids don't want to go to sleep on time and you have to get on a Facebook Live or whatever else it is, right? It just happened. So now we're here and we're going to talk about why oils are awesome. And it's not just a fad. It's been around. They've been around for thousands of years from the beginning of time. And every major world religion uses them in their rituals from the beginning of time. And so it's real. It's here to stay. And we're going to teach you how you can tap into it and benefit from it too.
I love that. And I want to hear what your specialty is, because I love when people have like a niche and they know who they target. And I think yours is moms. Right. Tell me about that.
Okay. So when I started with the oils, I had a 5-month-old baby with me, and she went everywhere with me. And I got into the oils, and I started making diaper cream for her. I wanted natural diaper cream, and it took off from there. And now she is almost 8 years old, and we're all in a very different stage in our lives. But all through these years, we've developed the products that we've needed, or used the oils that we've needed. The products are all oil-based in our daily lives. When we go to the beach, whether it's like bug repellent or sunscreen or after sun care, the oils are really multi-purpose, which is great for moms, right? You talk about moms wearing lots of different hats in the home. So for me, the oils also, like, they speak to each hat in the home, whether it's the babies, the older kids, everyone's going through something else. One teen needs it for acne treatments. Moms need a lot of tools. And oils are amazing, safe, natural, and very effective tools. They work very quickly. So when you have an acute situation, say like a fever or an ear infection in the middle of the night or any time, but we all know if you have kids and your kid has ever had an ear infection, it's 2 a.m, 3 a.m. It's never 10 o'clock in the morning when the doctor's in and you feel it's okay to call right now. Right? The kid is screaming at 2 a.m, and it's not okay to call anyone. So tea tree and lavender oil, they do pretty much what we need in our homes, like tea tree, lavender, and some frankincense, and you can cover most regular house issues with your family.
Wow.
So it's super empowering, right? You coach women who run their own businesses. So the oils help us not have sick days, certainly not as often, right? We want to keep our kids in school when schools are open, and we want to be able to work. That's the key.
That would be nice.
Right. So the oils are amazing in that way. And like I said, they've really gone through the test of time with us, starting with diaper cream to acne cream to all kinds of things in between. And, looking forward to more.
That's really cool. What is the different ways that somebody could use oils? So I know I just got myself a diffuser.
Awesome.
I'm really excited about that. That was like my gift for myself for the retreat, the second one. I was super excited about it. What are different ways? Like, I know that obviously you could smell it. You can diffuse it, but what else?
So there are 3 ways that we use the oil. So diffusing it, right? So that's aromatic, smelling it, putting it on topically on your body, on your skin, in your face cream, in your daily routine, massage. Anyone who has ever gone for a massage, I'm sure they have used at least lavender oil in the massage. And then also The oils that I use are therapeutic grade, and we take them internally. Not everyone is comfortable with that. We are comfortable with that. There are different forms of aromatherapy, and so we also take them internally in our water in a capsule, and we found amazing, amazing results taking them internally. So, but not for little kids. That's not from day one. And that's one of the things about using the oils, is that we have to learn at least a little bit to keep it safe. So as a mom, and if you're ever going to, start with anyone, you don't know how one person may react to the oils as opposed to another, right? They are plants, and people have allergies. We have tons of allergies in our home. So you wouldn't just put oils all over someone. You want to start, the safest way is really on the feet, on the bottoms of the feet. And according to reflexology, right, our foot is a map of the whole body. Right? You can just Google that. If anyone has any like headache, where do I put it? So Google is so kind in that way, and they can give you a reflexology chart. It's our hands, it's our feet, and we can access the whole body that way, which is amazing. So that would be a topical application, putting it on the feet. And that's the safest way.
Cool.
At least to get started, yeah.
Yeah, we just did that, by the way, for my kids. She's like, "Where is your lavender?" I'm like, "Actually, I have lavender." And she's like, "Put it on their feet." And they all got, to put oil on their feet, and then they ran off. Hopefully they'll eventually relax. Hi, Karen. How are you? Karen is with us, and she is listening. This is so fun. Everybody else who's listening can write in the chat any questions you have for Chana, or any other things you want to say, like hi, or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and, hashtag replay so we can know that you are here.
And tell us your favorite essential oil.
Yes.
I'm sure most people listening at least have lavender in the home, right? Because most people have lavender and tea tree. Those are like the basics.
The way I was introduced to it was in a, one of those nights, women nights, when they had in our town, and you had to pay like something like a really cheap amount to get in to like hear about this woman and what, her life story and how she got to the oils and then what she does with them. It was pretty awesome. And then she started getting really practical, and she was like, "This you have to have lavender, you have to have mint, you have to have," I don't know what else she said, but basically I ended up buying lavender and mint because I loved that she gave us each to try, like one drop of each, and we had to mix them and put them on their forehead, and then you feel the headache coming out of you. I was like, okay, that's it. This is my go-to for the rest of my life.
Yeah, peppermint is awesome. It opens right up. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was like mind-blowing. And then there was one lady there that was like constantly blowing her nose. So she's like, "Give me your hands." She put one drop of peppermint. I had her go like this and then smell it. And the lady just was cured. Like, we were all sold. It's pretty easy to sell us on the aromatherapy and the essential oils because it was just so awesome. And then the coolest thing at the end of that experience, everybody got to put, I don't remember what it was called, but maybe iris or something. I don't remember. She gave us one like drop to put as if it was perfume. And said, "This attracts people to you." And I was like, okay. I get home and my husband like gives me this look, and he's like smiling at me and being nice to me. And I was like just sitting there smiling, like I didn't do anything. All I did was come home. Like I did not even do anything. And he's like, "What's going on? Are you doing something?" And I was like, "I'm not doing anything." He's like, "Why do I feel like being nice to you?" I'm like, "I don't know." And after that, if I wasn't sold until now, that was it.
That's awesome. You have to find out what that was.
I have to.
That was.
Like it's in the back of my mind. It was 10 years ago. It's in the back of my mind to try and find her so that I can ask her what it was that she gave us.
Right. But it was wild orange. I wonder if it was wild orange. Wild orange helps attract people to you. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. The oils have their practical applications, right? Like lavender and tea tree and the ear infection and sleep and all those kinds of things that are more common. But then they have energetic properties, and can have major impact on us. That's what I really love about them. Like for me, it's like, okay, it's easy. I know the flu stuff works. I know, we can get the cough down. The fever, forget it. Like peppermint lavender for the fever, it works super fast. That's really fun, and that's great. And that's, the practical side and why people start to use them.
Right.
And then there's all the world of emotions, and that the oils work so well for our emotions. It's less easy to prove, but when you see it in your own home, it's mind-blowing. It's like truly mind-blowing, because the oils help to create new neural pathways in our brain. So they're great for helping us to create new patterns, right? So I could say that sometimes I get really frustrated and angry with my kids. They're not cooperating. There's a lot to do. Dinner needs to get made. There's a pile of laundry. There's even a pile of clean laundry that needs to get put away. So I need to pause and stop the story that's in my head and take a breath and reset.
Right.
So I didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up like pause, reset. My parents were pretty chill people.
Anybody who did? I don't know.
We were 2 kids. I have 4 kids. It's very different. It's a different upbringing. So I wear this necklace almost every single day, and it's an aromatherapy necklace, and you can open it up, and it has a little piece of fabric inside, and I put oils on it. So depending on my mood, I'll put something in. So if I know that it's going to be one of those days where I might be triggered a lot more, I could put something like cardamom in, which helps cut the anger. And it's also very energizing. So when I smell it, the smell goes right into our brains, right? That's how aromatherapy works. It is actually a therapy. The smell, the molecules from the oils go directly into our brain, and they go directly into our limbic brain and the amygdala. And that's the house of our emotions, memories, emotions, and the oils go there and do their work. So it's really amazing. And then I can smell 2 drops of cardamom on my necklace and control that anger. And until recently, I was not a breathwork person at all. And I'm like, okay, the oils are an excuse to take a breath. And I really want to be more of a meditating breathwork person. But I don't like to sit still. I like movement and like meditative movement. So I would do yoga and throw some oils on my yoga mat, make a yoga spray for the mat, have the diffuser going. Like you said, you have your diffuser, but it interrupts, the thought pattern. So I've recently worked very hard over the past few months to work on breathing. And then for me, because I love the oils and I know that they help, and at times I feel like, geranium is my best friend. So I'm going to take her with me when I need to feel great all day and feel loving and kind and have an open heart. So I'll put the oils right under my nose or in my necklace and smell it and work on breathing and slow down. And yesterday I had a dentist appointment, and I had some pretty major dental work done that I was not expecting. And I hate pain. I really hate pain. And I wish I had these oils when I gave birth, but I didn't. And the doctor was about to give me the Novocaine shot. And I'm like, can you pause for 1 second? I really hate pain. And I quickly went to my purse. I got out of the chair, grabbed an oil, and put it right under my nose. And the oil is called Cheer, right? So it makes me really happy. And in this calming way, it has cinnamon in it, which I love cinnamon. Cinnamon is like empowering. It connects you to things. It helps you to go deep, and it's spicy. So there's like a calming to it. And so I put the oil on and I just focus on my breath, his amazing assistant squeezed my hand while I got Novocaine shot, and I squeezed her hand, and I just totally relaxed. And because I know in my brain the Novocaine shot hurts, but once that's done, like all the hard part, you don't feel it. But I was so nervous and in my chest and tight. So I took out my tools and I used it, and I just worked on breathing the rest of the time. When he was done, they thought I had fallen asleep. They were like, "How did you fall asleep?" You know, they're like, "You were so nervous 20 minutes ago." And I was just breathing. I was just breathing, but
I think that, there's something really cool about bypassing the brain. Like instead of having to talk yourself into or explain to yourself why, or, try to force something, you're just like sort of letting go and letting the body do its thing, which is really powerful. We have a question from Karen. She wants to know, is there an oil for each chakra?
There is. There is actually. I don't know them. I know that lavender is the throat chakra, and I don't know any of the others offhand, but if you put your information wherever we can see it, I can send it to you later. I actually have a whole flyer of chakras and oils. Cool. There's really oils for everything. That's one of the things I love about it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an aromatherapist. There's oils to use with your pets. There's oils to use with your kids. There's just, it's really endless, which is also really cool because you can just keep learning about the oils and how they work. And there's new research coming out all the time.
I was going to say, is there a conflict? Like, is there like one school of thought says this is good for this, but the other school of thought says that that's good for that? And like, or, they don't agree on things or whatever. Is there such a thing?
I haven't seen that where anyone's like actual scientific research conflicted of an oil like not being good for that. I have not seen that because it's based on science. They're chemical molecules. That's why they work. And so here in Israel, often people say, I tried all those natural remedies from the pharmacy to get rid of my kids' lice, but it doesn't work. So, I'm not going to buy your rosemary oil because it doesn't work. I tried the one in the pharmacy for 25 shekels. So those are not real essential oils. They are called aroma chemicals because they were made to smell like rosemary, but the bugs don't care what it smells like. That's not why they go away. They go away because it's a chemical reaction. And so they respond to real rosemary. And actually, if you want to do anything effective, you really need to put two different kinds of oils together. So rosemary and tea tree, or rosemary, tea tree, and lavender. It's called the synergistic relationship. It's also, again, kind of like women working together, right? The oils strengthen each other to do more. They don't take away from each other, they empower each other. So that's another thing that I love about them.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. How do you have like a course or something that you do that is like, start here and then go there? Like,
I don't, because I'm always learning. So I feel like I'm on my own learning journey with the oils. I did get certified a few years ago. I don't know, maybe it's one of those things I'll do at some point, being that I am a mom first. I haven't put together a course yet. I teach workshops, which I used to teach in person, and I traveled around the country and taught. I teach in English. So in theory, now I teach online. I have a bunch of recorded stuff that I did in the fall. In the winter, I took more of or I guess I should say the early spring, took a break from Zoom teaching, and here we are. So I'm ready to get back to it because it is really fun. I love interacting with people. I love sharing the oils and their story because they each have a story, and it's from nature. So, Hashem made it that way. I'm not making it up. And the really cool thing is that there's the spiritual side of it. There's like their properties, why geranium is great for opening the heart. It's the oil of love. And there's all the science and the research that backs it up. So it's both, and I love that.
That is so cool. Is there different levels of oils? Like something could be natural, but not as good as a different natural, or
Right.
a different process of making it, like hot versus cold press, or I don't know what. Like
Right.
I'm trying to think of like olive oil.
Yeah, no, cold pressed preserves things, right? Like raw food keeps all the nutrients in it. We're not cooking it out. So same thing with the oils. You want cold pressed or cold steam distilled, right? Your diffuser doesn't heat the water that's in it. It's a cold diffuser so that it doesn't cook the oils. You know, a lot of people like those candle, the aroma burners. So they
Right.
look really pretty and it's nice for the atmosphere, but you're cooking out like the properties, which is fine if you're just doing it to set the atmosphere. But if you want to help your kid overnight and you're burning eucalyptus and it's not really helping. So I'm definitely all for the electronic diffusers, and they shut off automatically and they're really safe. But to get back to your question, quality totally matters. Quality matters, how they're sourced, when they're sourced, where they're sourced. So you don't just want to, I don't know, like get some lavender from the side of the street, because what makes it effective is that it has all the chemical composition in the oil. So I work with Doterra Oils mainly, and Doterra sources the oils where they grow, where can't think of the word right now in English, where they're mature, they're where they grow naturally. So, you know, lavender comes from France. That's where the soil conditions are right and the weather is right for the soil. And so that's where it comes from. And it is stronger. And they test the oils in the lab and make sure it has all the chemical constituents, because you can have, you know, I have lavender growing outside of my house. I have a ton. Someone just asked me the other day, oh, is this the lavender you use for your oils? I'm like, no, this is dusty, you know, grows in Israel. It's beautiful. I love it outside my house. You know, I'll pick it and make a bouquet, but I want to know that the oils will do the work. And could we use them for medicine in our house? We do. We use them for a lot of things. Happily so.
Well, what do you think? Like, does it have the same effect if you just pick it and smell it? Like, will your brain react to it differently or the same or whatever?
Well, your
Is this
brain will react to it when you smell the lavender, especially because you just picked it. So,
right?
you know, it hasn't been tainted with anything. So yeah, your brain will recognize the lavender composition, but we don't know what the composition is of your lavender. Like, we haven't tested it, say, okay, your headache will be gone, you're calmer, all these different things that lavender helps with. It'll be
Yeah,
calming. It will do something.
right.
But
You know, you're reminding me, it's so funny. I have an uncle who smokes, and one day I told him, I think that you smoke because it forces you to breathe.
yeah,
And and you just said the same thing. Like, when you're not smoking, or you're so unconscious when you're just doing your thing that you don't stop and take a deep breath, and just like, just like be, and it forces you to be. So it's, you could find it in many ways, not just good ways, but like, it's really an amazing point that you brought up that made me realize, like, it made me remember that I told him that a while back.
right. Stop and smell the roses.
Right.
Right. It makes sense. We should stop and smell the roses. And roses, of all the flowers, have the highest vibration. So roses are really special. So next time you walk by some roses, stop and smell the roses. That will help.
That was one thing that in high school, my teacher explained how, nowadays the roses don't have a smell because we lost a certain like level of whatever. I don't remember what his point was, in our holiness, in our consciousness, we went down. So like the whole world, like all the physical things also dropped. So like, if in the past we would have roses with smells, now the roses don't smell. And in America, they really don't. Like, you buy roses, they don't have a smell. But we got here to Israel, and the first thing that happened was on my way to dropping off my kids at the daycare, there was a huge thing of just like a bunch of roses that they have in front of the daycare, and the smell just catches you. You don't even have to stop and smell. It just like whoosh. And I was like, okay, I got to call him up and tell him here is way more holy. Like,
Wow.
they should come here. You know, there's just like good news.
Did you tell him?
The consciousness level hasn't gone down in this country. I don't know, whatever point he was making, it's not here. So
right.
I never got to call him and tell him because I got too embarrassed. Like, what, you want your student to call you 20 years later and be like, hey, guess what?
You're wrong.
Not you're wrong, but like, isn't it cool that you taught us something that I found, you know, connected with my life in some way 20 years later? I'm sure teachers would love to hear that, you know, like you made a difference in something, you know, like you made me think about whatever it is that you taught.
Right, but someone calls you 20 years from now and says, hey, I did that free 7-day retreat, and I'm going to tell you been doing this for 20 years. You'll be floored. You'll be so excited.
I would. You were like, you know, talk about the retreat. If you didn't come to the retreat, you missed it, because Chana can tell you how awesome it was. Wasn't it like epic?
The retreat was awesome. The retreat was super awesome. Yes, and unfortunately now we have to wait to November for the next one?
I know, but you can get the recordings if you sign up.
I know, that was so nice of you. That's really nice of you.
I realized that there's 6 months to November and people have to sit around and wait. It's just not fair. So I'm like, okay, I'll send you the recording. And, you know, I'm still open to being in touch with anybody who wants and doing the implementation calls, because it was fun for me. Like it was amazing. It was such an amazing experience. And on day 7, after I was done, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what today is? It's the end of what I started, you know, like I started a retreat and then I did a second retreat and I finished them both. Like I actually accomplished something. It was pretty cool. It just felt like a real, you know, celebration. So that was pretty cool. Hey, my mother is here. Yay!
Yay!
I love getting the comments and suddenly being like, hey, guess what? You know, it's exciting. Yes. So I'm sure people have so many questions about aromatherapy because, like, on one hand, you hear about it a lot. On the other hand, you don't know much about it unless you go to a course or a class or you start learning or you look into it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, just like anything, you don't know about something until you look into it, or someone throws a book at you, or, you know, hands you a pamphlet. There's so much out there. It's so easy. Look,
so how do people work with you? Like, how do people work with you? How do you like, I guess, guide people through it?
So since Corona and not doing in-person workshops, what I got really into is interviewing people on the phone about what they're looking for, because most women, you know, again, the ear infection, the stuffy nose, those are like the easy things. But when someone is like, I want something for me, I need a new perfume, I want something, and you know, they're not just looking for, when they come to me, they're not just looking for, some are like, yeah, I want to smell like roses or whatever. But when we get talking, it's really, I've developed a new line called Her New Story. And so I interview women and say, like, well, what do you want to bring into your life more of? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to do? And then I go through my awesome books that I love all about the emotions, and put together blends for people, personalized blends, which becomes her new story. And we can leave the old stuff in the past. There's fur oils like Siberian fir and Douglas fir help to like let go of old family patterns and stuff. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, not sometimes, most of us have come into this world with some story from another lifetime or something that we didn't even do this. And we carry something with us that is so hard to let go of. And it could just be this little whispering in our head that affects a lot of areas of our lives, especially our family and our relationships and how we interact with the world and with different people. So,
I was going to say, you don't have to go far. Even our regular lives, we have plenty to let go of.
For sure. But that's easier because you can at least name that. Right? So
I don't know, sometimes and sometimes not. There's people, you know, I feel like every person is put in this world with things that they have to deal with. Like nobody's choosing who they're born to and what they have to go through until they get to a place where they could start choosing. So that's pretty global.
For sure. For sure. I had for years like a horrible fear of driving off a cliff or having some kind of like crazy car thing happen. And I didn't grow up with it. I had no fear. I don't know if my parents were watching. I had no fear of driving when I was younger. And then when we moved up to the Golan, you know, there's like a lot of mountains and big open roads and dark open roads. And I don't know when it happened exactly, but I developed a fear. I mean, I think it was also connected to having children, being a mother and being nervous. And I worked on it. I totally worked on it with like healers. And I know that it was from another Gilgul, another lifetime. And I've come, thank God, a really long way. But like also these oils really helped me not to be afraid of things.
That's really cool.
I don't know if that's too much for your listeners. Anyone has something that's lurking and they're like, I don't know where this comes from, can give me a call. We'll talk about it. We've got Siberian fir for you.
Well, I like to stay in this, you know, in the things that in my little square. I don't need extra work. Thank you. I'm working hard enough with what I have. Letting go is one of the biggest things, And not only that, forgiving ourselves for the things, for the mistakes that we ourselves made is one of the biggest things, you know. It's huge. It's huge.
So check this out. Can you see it?
Forgive.
Yes. Forgive. A blend to help forgive ourselves and others.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So you walk around, you have your whole like bag full of like little things lined up. Like, is that how it works? You just take it.
How it works. Yeah. So I have
like
this
the
one.
doctor goes with his like, you know.
I have this. This is like usually always in my purse, but it also comes up to the bedroom with me at night. I have a little display with like 40 other oils next to my bed. And then this is what I picked from downstairs to talk about tonight. Oops, wrong way. All these. Yeah, these are all great for women and moms and different things that we could talk about. So, whoops, and there's my daughter. So I do. I travel with a ridiculous amount of oils to leave my house. But I'm trying to cut down a little bit, especially as the weather gets warmer, because I don't want them getting hot or anything. So I have actually an oil keychain with space for like 8 little sample sizes. So I'm like, okay, that's enough to leave the house and like go food shopping. And because I always feel like with my keychain, I'm like, well, what if someone needs something? What if someone's coughing? What if this? And like, then I just have to like, I want to go give it to them. So I have in my keychain that I always have on me when I'm like off my moshav, like basic stuff. And then like 2 or 3 things that I love that I just wouldn't leave the house without. And then I'm ready to like give those to people, whoever needs them. And that actually started because when we first moved to the Golan, one of my kids, she had to go to the bathroom in the supermarket, and there was no soap. There were no paper towels. There was no toilet paper. It was such a horrifying experience. And I had my baby like strapped on either to my front or to my back for food shopping. And I had my 4-year-old who had to go to the bathroom, and it was such a bad experience. And I went home and I made hand sanitizer. And I'm just like, I'm never going out without oils. If I just had lemon with me, we could have cleaned our hands. Like, I'm just never going to be without them again. Leonator, don't hold me to that. But yeah, so, and then that's how my product line develops. We needed hand sanitizer. So I made hand sanitizer.
So you have a product line. Tell me about that.
I have a product line. My company is called The Oil for Me, because I felt like when I fell in love with geranium, I felt like that's the oil for me. And everyone out there has an oil that like would really speak to them and would help get them through like whatever the pinch is that they need. Because yeah, we breathe up high and hold our breath a lot and have a lot of anxiety. So the oils help. So the oil for me. And again, I make everything from hand sanitizer to diaper cream to acne roll-ons to like hormone balancing blends for women. Her new story blends, beard oils, whatever people need. I don't tend to stock a lot of things anymore. I prefer to just like when someone needs something, I make it. I have like my basic line, and we're, God willing, relaunching our website very soon. But I'm on Facebook. I have like my page on Facebook, but God willing, the website will actually be done very soon. I love to make blends. I love to like make what people need.
I love
So yeah, so like flu stuff. The flu stuff is awesome and works super fast. I grew up with a lot of allergies. I still have a lot of allergies, but I grew up not knowing they were allergies until I was 12 and a half years old. So instead of knowing it was allergies, I just had ear infections and congestion, and I was on antibiotics like 4 or 5 times a year. I had bronchitis and pneumonia and all these things when I was young, a couple of times. And so when I would get sick, I would be like as an adult, when I would get sick, my glands would get swollen, my ears were really itchy, and I would kind of stay that way. I wasn't sick in bed, and I had lots of kids, and I was functioning, but I was run down, and I sounded congested, and my glands were swollen, and that hurt. And so the first time I got sick, once I got involved with the oils, I put together this blend and to fight the flu. And I put it on my glands, and I said to my husband when I went to sleep, I said, okay, I'll wake up in the morning and help you get the kids off to dawn and school, and then I'm not going to have my morning coffee. I'm going back to sleep, and I'm not a napper. So I was like, I'm not going to drink my coffee. I'm committed to going back to sleep because I really don't feel well and I need to get some sleep. And I put the oils on. I put the oils on my feet and went to sleep. And in the morning, I woke up and I was fine. I swallowed. That was kind of like a gland test, and I was fine. I'm like, whoa, this stuff is real. So, and we had a bunch of those experiences right from the beginning, like with fevers for my kids and my glands. So we've been like really into them from the beginning.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the Sparky type test, but you should look it up. Spark E type instead of archetype. So spark, what sparks you. I love that test. It's like a quiz online. It's super cute. It's a little annoying because it's long and it's repetitive, but it's doing that on purpose to really push you to find what your spark is. And I have a feeling you're a maker because you're so alive when you can customize something for someone and really like find the thing that is perfect for them. And everything about you is so specific to the person, like her story, taking all the emotions into account, and her, your, what is it? Find your oil or something. What was the name?
The oil for me.
The oil for me. Like so specific to what the person needs, as opposed to like everybody should know these rules. Like when I was asking you before about do you have any workshops or any courses or anything you can do, that would have been more of like a teacher and a person who likes to, advise and teach. And it's not that like you were not alive at that, like, oh, whatever, just do things here and there. No, man, this is it. This is it, people. If you need something specific to you, this is who you need to go to. And that's amazing. That's like super fun. Go take the test and tell me what it says.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
super interested.
I mean, I should be teaching more because I do love teaching, but I don't love teaching on the screen. I like also, it's a little bit hard. Like, you can't smell this. So here, what do you think? This is called beautiful. This will make you feel beautiful and empowered and love yourself more, but you can't smell it.
Right. It's a little bit it's a little bit different when you're talking about smells. I totally get that.
Right.
So
you know what? Right. We've been dealing with it at the beginning of Corona. We started, not the very beginning, kind of after the shock wore off. When it's like, okay, now let's move forward. I send samples. I'll send samples anywhere. Because also, to me, like, I want you to have the oils. I want you to have the oils in your hand. I want you to have them in your home. They're amazing game changers. They're totally game changers. And the thing is, one of the great things, right, we talked before about putting them on the feet. So it's a great way as a mom or anyone in a relationship with anyone, touch is very important. And to connect with your kids, kids have a lot of emotions and a lot of stuff, whether it's that they need to calm down, they are not confident, they're scared to go to school, they're scared of the test, all these different things. When we touch them, it brings them such confidence and they know they're cared for and they're loved. So just like we were saying before, that the oils are an excuse to breathe, they're an excuse to touch and connect. So, my kids know if they're not feeling well, it's like, can I have a massage? And, I went through a phase where it took an hour and a half to put everyone to sleep because everyone got oils on their feet that were specific for them and for bedtime. And we've moved away from that a little bit, thank God, because that was really like too much. But that's why I make roller bottles and everyone can actually put them on, right? So this is totally safe. This is important that they won't get more than they need and they're diluted with a carrier oil and they can put them on themselves. So
that makes so much sense. So it's amazing because I know there's a reflexologist, Susie Vanziken, who, when she was doing her thing on reflexology, like she had to do her project or whatever, she was all about the touch and the relationship and whatever. So like it came from two directions. Like you're using the oil and she's using the reflexology, and you're both really saying the same thing, like the importance of that connection. It's really amazing. So I should put you guys in touch because that would be so much fun. Okay, we are getting close to the end, and I get sad because it's almost the end, but then I get really grateful because we had such a great conversation and I love it. What is something practical that somebody can do when they're listening to this and saying like, okay, I should give this, I should be more open to this, or I should give it more thought, or maybe I should be in touch with Chana about finding my oil, or what's something practical that people can do?
Be in touch with me and find their oil. It doesn't even have to be your oil. It doesn't have to like change your life, but they can definitely, the oils raise our energetic vibration for sure. So if you're down about something, if you're confused, if you're insecure, if you have chronic itchy ears, like whatever it is, you have food addiction, alcohol addiction, like anything, we can use the oils. The thing is, the oils, they don't do the work for you, but they make peeling the layers of that onion way easier and way faster. They are your friend to help. They make things easier. Like, I feel like the diffuser, right, well, you can't even see it. But anyway, like therapists should have diffusers in their office because people will open up faster. They will calm down. They can jump right in. You can like save a lot of work. You can get to the meat of the conversation by using oils.
I could just, in the new age of Zoom, I feel like we have to figure out a way to like, before you make an appointment, please buy this oil and put it in the diffuser in your room.
Or we'll get computers that start spritzing them out, right? Like there are hotels around the world that they pump oils through the air vents to make you feel better and have a better experience. Unfortunately,
Really?
they're toxic. Yeah,
I was going
shopping
to
malls.
ask.
Shopping malls also. Yeah, so those like Glade plugins that you can buy that make your hair smell like vanilla and they smell great, those are actually really toxic and dangerous. So that's the thing, because there is nothing that blocks our sense of smell from our brain, which if you're using pure essential oils, that's a great thing. If you're using toxic chemicals, that's not a great thing. And if you have small children or elderly people, I mean, no one should be using toxic chemicals, especially like directly in. But it is very important to use quality oils and quality products to stay healthy. And the oils really protect our cells. So in the world of anti-aging and anti-disease and fighting things and trying to take care of ourselves to live a long, healthy life, oils are great for that too.
Wow. I don't know how to deal with all that toxin stuff. Like, do you actually not walk into malls or into hotels that do that? Like, is
Um,
freaky?
I live in the Golan Heights, so it's very rural. We don't have a mall near us. There's like this thing called a mall, 15 minutes away. It's really small. I mean, I'm from New York. I don't consider it a mall. It's, it has the post office and a couple of other stores. It's the mall, whatever. They don't do it.
Right.
But there's a place when I used to go more to the center of the country and drive home, and I had a 3-hour drive home from my workshops. I had like this particular rest stop, and they put in those spritzer things, and that was my favorite break to get my coffee and go to the bathroom before the last like hour and a half of my ride. And I literally got so sick going in there. I am sensitive to chemicals, and that is part of my allergies and why I have incorporated a natural lifestyle. But yeah, it's really intense, and I unfortunately had to take that stop off my. I tried it, and I tried it again, and I tried again, but I would go in and get a headache and be totally inundated. I mean, in the winter, I would just put my scarf over my face and kind of like run in, do what I need to do, and get out. But it's intense. It is
Yeah.
intense.
Okay. This was amazing. If anybody wants to get in touch with Chana, I know I am. I'm going to be talking to you more about this find her oil thing and new story, all sorts. I need to get myself like a real conversation to find what that thing is, because that would be super fun. This is so amazing. You know what we didn't do? We didn't talk about marriage and how it has to do with marriage. But because we're over time, I don't want to start that conversation now. So maybe I'll have Chana on again.
Awesome.
This was super fun, and I really appreciate it. You guys, we'll be back here next week. We had to take the break for the retreat, which was totally worth it. But now we are back, and hopefully we will continue this, fun live thing. That's it. I think that we're all good. There's no questions in the chat. So thank you for coming. Thank you for amazing information. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Awesome.